morning. It's Wednesday, December 7th. And every time I search for an article or something to speak about, I find something more and more ridiculous going on in this country. And I ran a business for 30 or something years. And I had clients, many clients in different sizes and shapes. Some people were just 2 or 3 people in an organization. Sometimes I was working with people, hundreds of employees. But it didn't matter to me the size of the business. If it made sense and we could do the business, then we did it. And if we didn't want to do it, we said we don't want to do it. It said it's not worth it or whatever the reason is. And believe me, in my experience, there were many people that came and they worked with us for a while and then they up and left for no reason at all that we knew of. But then you find out later on somebody came along and undercut the price or something like that. Business is business. And I don't think there should be any laws that require people who run a business to service anybody they don't want to service. Now, of course, if the reasons that they don't want to service them is discriminatory, then they might have something to say. But in my mind, if you don't want to do business with somebody, you shouldn't be forced to do business with somebody. And why am I talking about this now? Why have I brought this subject up? It's because this website designer who creates websites for people who are about to get married doesn't want to create websites for people who are marrying of the same sex because it bothers her and she's a very religious person and she doesn't believe in same-sex marriage. So that's okay. Is she the only website designer in the world? If somebody is rejected because the website designer has a personal preference on who to do it, I don't think she should be forced to do it. I don't think she should be forced to give her business to anybody that she doesn't want to do business with it. Now, the reason that she doesn't want to do business may be deemed to be discriminatory. But if she had just refused and kept her mouth shut, would there be such a case before the Supreme Court? No. So she's pretty stupid if she wants to stand up there and take a platform and broadcast, I will not do a wedding site for a same-sex couple because I don't believe in that. That's stupidity on her part, and she deserves to be sued for that. So I guess the moral of this rant is that if you have a reason that is unpopular, or a reason that could be deemed to be illegal, you are stupid if you stand up there and declare that, right? That's a sign of stupidity. But of course, that puts you in the situation of being somebody who has a cause and somebody who actually is discriminating. So while I believe that businesses should decide on their own whether they want to do business with somebody or something, or they should keep their mouth shut if they have a reason that is not popular or a reason that is deemed to be discriminatory and anti-something, anti-Semitic, anti-gay, anti-whatever, anti-black. You shouldn't be saying those things. That does not come under the free speech standards. Those things are not allowed even in a country where we allow free speech. So you can't be denigrating a group of people for your own reasons, for your own religious beliefs, and expect not to get sued. So while I think the suit is stupidity, I think the people who had this wedding have taken a bad approach, but I guess they're defending their right to sue and defending their right to not be discriminated against and defending their right because there is law in this country that says they can get married. But there's no law in this country that says you must work for them. You must do your job when they request it. If the website designer was smart, she would have kept her mouth shut and let it go. Say, I'm too busy, I can't do it, I don't agree, whatever. Some kind of wonderful excuse. You need some kind of wonderful excuse, right? But she didn't do that, so now she's being sued. And what this has done, this particular case has now put in jeopardy the rights in this country that have been gained by same-sex couples. So now the Supreme Court is going to have an opportunity to overturn the law that says you can be the same sex and be married. A law that has been in existence since 2015. Not as long as Roe versus Wade, of course, but long enough. And it gives the opportunity for these 6 conservative judges to overturn the same-sex marriage law. And that's a terrible thing. That is a terrible thing. And maybe that was the web designer's purpose in the first place. Maybe she figured if she refused and then they fought her, she could get this case in front of the Supreme Court. And then she, this wonderful website designer, would have done a good thing for the world and a good thing for her religion and a good thing for everybody by doing away with same-sex marriage. In any event, it's a stupid thing. I think people should be allowed to live together. They should be allowed to cohabit. They should be allowed to get married. I don't care if they're green, yellow, black, white, male, female, etc. It's nobody else's business. As long as they react properly all the time, or most of the time, because none of us reacts properly all of the time, then they should be happy to be a couple. They should be happy. They should be allowed to be happy. And maybe their big mistake was going to this website designer in the first place. Maybe they could find 10 other people to do it. They probably have a niece or a nephew that could do it themselves. I speak from somebody who's done a lot of work on a computer, so I'm sure it could be done by somebody else. If this woman has a reputation and she's the A1 wedding website designer, then they asked her. She refused incorrectly, in my opinion. And now you got a Supreme Court case that's putting a lot of law in jeopardy. And interestingly enough, there are 20 states that have laws that protect designers, custom designers of artwork, from exactly this situation. Custom designers of artwork in many states will not be forced to do a job that they disagree with. But there are 22 states that lean in the other direction. So there you have it. So that's it for this morning, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.